Hey folks, welcome back to Other M. We are here in the pyrosphere. We just got done with a little bit of Mortal Kombat with our mortal enemy Ridley, and I had quite a few things to say about the encounter, but we are actually entering an interesting part of the game here. Interesting in a kind of a good way, actually. If you'll recall the cutscene from last episode, Adam was apparently attacked by the Deleter, and since then his communication with us has ceased, and he's just not talking to us, because he's probably like either dead or running for his life or something along those lines, or just lost his communicator. So we're entering a portion of the game where we are not being verbally guided to our next destination anymore. And instead we actually have to analyze the environment, see what's going on, see where we can go in order to figure out where we need to go. And it's almost like a Metroid game. Now, of course, the overall level design and layout of the rooms and whatnot makes it fairly linear, but there is still a certain aspect of freedom. I feel like this is where the game is like, hey, we're a Metroid game, remember? But it had already kind of written itself into a corner by designing itself the way it did. But it's sort of the thought that counts, maybe, possibly, almost. Anyway, screw these guys. I do not care for these people. Out of there. And we are all the way back at this elevator. And we can head back to the main sector and possibly figure out what happened to Adam. After some intense elevator action and a cutscene. Eventually.
Something was gnawing at me. Communication with Adam had ceased. From the Deleter's point of view, Adam would represent the largest threat. Without question, his life had to be in danger. But it was Adam Malkovich. He wouldn't go down easily. And Adam would already know about the Deleter, so there's no way he would let his guard down. If that was the case, then why couldn't I reach him? What did he think of the unfolding situation, and what was he planning to do next? My racing thoughts started to frustrate me.
Alrighty, back to the biosphere. I know you missed this place. We are now heading after the Deleter because we basically don't have any other things to do other than see if Adam is alive, but screw him, is he dick. Let's just chase after Deleter, who would probably come to us if we waited long enough because he's trying to kill everybody. Anyway, this is the portion of the video where I say backtracking because Metroid, heading back through this part of the biosphere with very little new. We have one new enemy encounter here. We got slightly more powerful armadillo things, I guess. I'm not really sure. I mean, they didn't have spikes before, right? I'm not crazy. And yeah, they're the armadillo things. They can dig underground, even though the ground is pure metal. Not sure the logic there. Well, it's not like they're copy and pasting enemies from other areas and then thinking through, because this is the first time we've seen these enemies. Whatever. Take care of them basically the same way you take care of any other. Freeze them. You can see you freeze them to the ground very briefly with the ice beam, so that might be an opportunity to shoot a missile at them. But really, you can just quick dodge and charge beam, and well, it's nothing too remarkable. Anyways, you can see there's grapple point over there. That would be a thing that you could do to get items, I think, at this point. Or maybe, I'm not entirely sure, there might be another grapple point that needs to appear at some arbitrary point in time in the future, I don't recall. Ooh, following him. That's where we're going. Let's follow him. And you can see that dude is like rolling around there, trying to get up on our business. It's actually a clever way of warning you, hey, there's an enemy, get ready. You might try to outrun him, but you can't. There's no escape. It's neat. It's a neat way to use the camera. Without just like, oh god, screw you. Without like pausing to show you a little hello cutscene. Anyway, that's probably for the best that I got hurt there, because now I could concentrate and get back to full health. Ooh, a grapple point over there. That could lead to an item. You know, I really don't think we need these constant reminders of where the leader is gone. Because, again, these are linear corridors. It was kind of useful in that big circular room with the tree, because there are multiple exits to that room. But either having, like, some sort of hint, indicator, clue, trail, rather than a cutscene, that might be a good idea. Oh, now you're just being a dick, deleter. Aren't you trying to kill me? Why are you just running away? Anyway, that thing's busted, so we can't fix the bridge. We'll need some other way to get across.
Any objections, Adam?
And then, whabam, suddenly Samus is a much more appealing character and is much more consistent with the rest of the series. She decides to, on her own, reactivate the space jump and the screw attack. And even throws in a sarcastic remark to Adam. It's in character for her. It's nice. It's really cool. It makes you all the more angry that she hasn't done it for, like, every other item that she has, and she still hasn't done it for the gravity suit. Just saying. Anyway, more elevator action. The deleter here has led us into a new area, so hopefully we'll get some new and exciting things up in here. Anyway, this is actually the last you'll hear of me for this episode, because the next 11 minutes or so are a gigantic cutscene full of revelations and other important things. So I will see you guys in the next episode.
I'm not a member of the Galactic Federation. I came here because I intercepted the distress call. I'm a bounty hunter. And I know that something is after you. Please, you must believe me. Thank you. I'm Samus Aran. What's your name?
Madeline Bergman. Behind closed doors, the Galactic Federation was trying to create a special forces unit composed of bioweapons. In order to make it happen, they were attempting to create an organization modeled after the space pirates, with the Zebesians at the center. But because of a certain presence, the life forms became ferocious. We were no longer able to control them.
By a certain presence, she must have meant Ridley.
So you sent out the distress signal, even though it endangered your life?
I had to. I felt there was a real danger here, that if left as is, the Zebesians would continue to evolve and resurrect as real space pirates.
If that danger was real, then the risk of withholding information to protect herself was too great, clearly. And yet, wasn't she the one who set the facility's system to self-destruct? In silence, I praised her courage and sense of responsibility. At the same time, her argument had some holes. Say that the Zebesians, under Ridley's influence, became super aggressive. Would that really lead to the resurrection of the space pirates? Without a malicious force to lead them down that path, wouldn't they continue to merely follow their instincts, ultimately becoming no more than a swarm of feral creatures? Regardless, it was clear that the Galactic Federation was ready to consign their enormous mistake to oblivion. And that's why they sent a deleter. And as for Madeline and others who knew the secret? But wait, there was another inconsistency in her story. Why go to such lengths at all? With just a small flexing of the Galactic Federation's military force, they should have been able to destroy a facility of this scope with ease. So why didn't they?
Actually, there was an even more dangerous plan. Come with me.
What? That's not possible. The Metroids were terminated along with Zebes.
Yes. And the last of them, the baby, met its end above my head.
You're Samus Aran, right? The one who annihilated the space pirates? Metroid remnants were attached to your suit when you returned from Zebes. They were reproduced from a piece of cell structure salvaged by the Federation, and they are in this facility.
I gave your suit a polish so you'd be at least somewhat presentable.
And Ridley in the same way.
At first, no one thought that the creature was Ridley. They didn't think it had potential as a bioweapon at all. They raised it like a pet, calling it Little Birdie. Until one day, it attacked one of the researchers and got away. Ridley had played dead and lured the scientist into his cage. What was left? It was a horrible sight.
But in order to control Metroids, you need Mother Brain's telepathy. You don't. You didn't recreate a Mother Brain clone, did you?
It's artificial intelligence. We developed an AI program that would reproduce Mother Brain's thought processes. We called it MB.
But it was just a program. It wasn't the Mother herself.
MB evolved as it communicated with the Metroids. It appears as though it began to become self-aware, much like the original Mother Brain. It's really quite remarkable.
That's when it became clear to me just why Madeline was so afraid of the space pirate's resurrection. It wasn't that her story had holes in it. Through the holes were glimpses of the danger that was right before her eyes. If everything she said was true...
Where are the Metroids and MB?
They're in an area called Sector 0. It's a unit that doesn't appear in any of our map data. It's a place like Turian, where we propagate and raise Metroids.
I began to see what the worst-case scenario would look like. The ultimate weapon, the Metroid, would be mass-produced, and as soon as an AI that could control them was developed, the plan to create a special forces unit modeled after the space pirates was replaced. But as the AI called MB spun out of control, the facility became a place much like the planet Zevis. If the situation were left alone, galactic society would be put in peril. Even the ringleaders of the operation wanted to avoid that, but they still wanted the Metroids. And that's why they decided to capture the Metroids contained in Sector 0 and delete the rest of the facility, including the space pirates, Ridley, and everyone who knew the secret. But before the ringleaders could act, Adam appeared. Adam might have known or suspected the truth about the facility from the beginning. Regardless, since the ringleaders were members of the Galactic Federation, they could no longer act recklessly. And so a deleter was installed as a member of Adam's team to destroy evidence and plan each subsequent move. But having me added on as a member must have disrupted the Galactic Federation's plans.
Madeline, thanks for telling me all this. I've got to destroy the Metroids and MB in Sector 0. You have to remain hidden. Don't worry. The Galactic Federation CO who's here now will help you. You're safe.
Does that CO happen to be Commander Adam Malkovich? The real leader of this operation is Commander Malkovich. I can't believe that he's here.
Stay here until I return.